Okay, good morning. Thank you so much for coming over to the webinar today about farming. You reap what you sow, farming in the 21st century. Success in farming comes down to choosing a specific target. It could be a neighborhood, a condominium complex, a new construction project, or it could also be a list of people from a networking group. In a previous seminar, we discussed networking, and the same principles apply to networking. Now, the key with farming is executing the good old basics, but executing them well. So today, in this webinar, we are going to discuss specifically farming. But I have to start by telling you that farming is not for everyone. Now, which one are you? Are you a hunter or a farmer? Because if you're a hunter, you are the type of person that has no patience. You want to wake up in the morning and go out and come back the same day with a listing or a sale. That's a hunter. Okay, you're out there hunting for business. A farmer, on the other hand, is patient and hardworking. Now, farming is not easy. It takes work. As a matter of fact, when you first start farming, it takes a lot of work. See, when you go in the summer and buy corn, I just love corn on the cob. When I go to the farms to buy corn, if you really think about it, how did the corn get there? You have to think about the amount of work and time and care that it took for that corn to get to that stand so I could go buy it. It wasn't planted on June 1st and then you got to collect it on June 30th. First, the farmer had to clear the field. Then they have to prepare the soil, because not all soil is good at the moment you want to plant the seeds. Then you have to choose the seeds and plant them. The next step would be to care and water. And every day that farmer goes out there to make sure that the little plants are working. The farmer also has to keep the bugs out and has to keep the birds away. Then the farmer has to continue watering and keep animals away. And the farmer has to go out in the field every day, and when the plants are ready, he has to go out in the field and collect the corn from the plants. Then the corn has to be sorted. Not all corn will be good. Then he has to take it to the market. And then when I go to the stand and buy the corn, that is when the farmer will reap the rewards. So there was a lot of work involved in getting there. Now, I don't want anyone to be depressed about all the work necessary, but you do have to be realistic about what you can expect and when you can expect your rewards. There are a lot of benefits for farming now when you are working in the real estate business. And those benefits are called ROI, or return on investment. First of all, you have to realize that there is a lot less cost associated with becoming a neighborhood expert. It's more rewarding and it takes less time and less cost than always looking for new business all over the place. Once you become the neighborhood expert, or you're in the process of becoming the neighborhood expert, you will be able to get reputation and respect. And this is built over time. This is one of the things that happens over time. It doesn't happen immediately. Over time, you will also have less competition, because when you begin to dominate an area as the preferred agent, other agents may not be able or willing to go into that area. It will be very difficult for them to capture your share of the transactions. And then there will be buyers. Buyers that will come through your listings from other real estate agents, but also buyers that will find you because of your marketing. One of the greatest things of having a market area where you have several listings is that you can have several properties open at the same time. You can have a multiple open house, and in less time you could actually sell more properties. You can also get referrals to other areas and other business opportunities. For example, someone comes to your neighborhood that are the area that you're serving, and they have a property in another town or in another area that they need to sell in order to buy your listing. Well, right there you have the opportunity of capturing a listing in another area, or maybe sending the referral out if the area is too far. Also, when you're dealing with marketing a geographic area, you also save time in travel, because you're not driving all over town, putting up signs, taking down signs, showing properties. You could actually walk to the property if you live in the neighborhood or if you're close by. You also save a lot of gas money, because most of the business will be done in that particular area. Another benefit is community involvement. You will know what is going on, and it is your responsibility to find out everything that is happening in that area, because you need to be one of the leaders in the involvement of what happens and how things happen in that neighborhood. Over time, your work will become fun. It will become fun because of your community involvement, the triumphs that you will get, the relationships with the neighbors that you will develop, and of course, the business and the money that will be coming from you being the neighborhood expert will give you freedom. Choose the hours and the things that you will be doing in your business. Now, that is the return on investment, or the benefits of farming now. But there are also benefits in the future. See, when you become the neighborhood expert, in the future you will have dependable future business. From a certain number of homes in an area, over time you will be able to know what is the turnover. How many people are moving in? How many people are moving out? And if you are the go-to person for that area, it is easier to determine the amount of business that you will be generating from that area. In the future also, if you ever want to retire or slow down, you can either sell your business or transfer your business to someone that you trust. That's someone who has the same values as you do, who has the same work ethic as you do, and who will take care of the work that you have built, the relationships you have built over time, and you will take care of you and represent you well. This can give you future benefits of referral commissions into the future, many, many years after you stop working that farm. Okay? So it is very important that as you are developing your farm, that you build goodwill and a great, excellent reputation for ethics and good work habits. The first thing that needs to happen when you are thinking about farming an area is to pick your target area. What is the field where you want to put your hard work in the seeds of work that you're going to be working on? You want to watch first. You want to carefully watch the area that you are looking for. Is there a dominant practitioner who is already working in that area? One of the questions you want to find out is, does that individual live in the neighborhood? Or are they traveling to that neighborhood to service it? See, if you already live in that neighborhood, even if you're not dominant in that area, you can become dominant just for the mere fact that you are a neighbor. That gives you an advantage. You want to know, what do they do? If you're a neighbor, or you're choosing your backyard, the area where you live, you probably have received or are receiving mailings or communications from that agent. What do they do? And how can you improve or be different? You don't always want to do the same thing they're doing, because then it's going to look like it's the same communication, just from a different name. People don't care which person they use if they don't know them. Want to do something different, better. Do an improvement over what somebody else is doing. Maybe come up with a totally different idea. Because there's no better place to farm than your own backyard. You're already there. You know what goes on. You know who's who. Okay? And when you already live there, you can introduce yourselves to the neighbors. Okay, you can knock on doors and say, hey, I'm your neighbor. I've been living here for 13 years and I haven't met you. I apologize for that. My name is. And then start a conversation. Oh, by the way, I do real estate for a living. What do you do? And you want to find out. Start that relationship with them. You may also choose an important cause that affects the community. Use it as your introduction if you don't already know the neighbors. Use that as your cause because it's important to you and to all of your neighbors. I'm going to give you an example. In West Patterson, the reservoir, that there was a proposal for removing the beautiful reservoir and turning it into these tanks, cement tanks, okay? Or if there is a law change or town requirements for CO, or they're increasing the cost of inspections. You also want to be involved where you actually go to the town hall meetings. Find out what is going on, what is being proposed. Are they bringing in a new shopping center? Is that an improvement for your area? Or is that a detriment? I live in Bergen County, right off of Route 17. We have like a ton of shopping malls. If they bring another shopping mall, I'll tell you, I will be there saying we don't need another shopping mall. Okay? But if you live in an area where they're proposing a shopping mall and that would be an improvement for your area, then you need to be there with the, rallying the neighbors to approve it. So it really depends on what is going on in that particular area. Okay? Or maybe they're proposing a zoning change that would not be good for the neighborhood. Choosing something, a cause that affects the community, not only puts you in front of them, it makes you a leader in the community. People will look up to you, and they find out that you are in the real estate business, that you care about your community, then you will already be ahead of everybody else. The next step is you have to become the expert. Now, you don't become the expert by just saying, I'm an expert. An area that you choose, you have to preview every property for sale in that neighborhood. If it is listed by another real estate agent, you want to be the first one in the door. You want to go and preview it. Not only do you want to do that, you also want to sell it. Find a buyer for that property, and now you will be putting your people, people who know you, trust you, and respect you, into that neighborhood. Also, take a look at all the for sale by owners. You could end up listing the property, or you could end up finding a buyer for that particular property and still be part of that process. Okay? So you want to know everything about that, whatever's happening right now. But you want to go back in your research. This is a preparation of the field. You want to go back for the past year and look in the multiple listing service. What properties have been listed? Which ones have sold? Which ones are under contract? Which ones were for sale but did not sell? Were they withdrawn? Were they expired? Okay? You want to actually take a very detailed view of that neighborhood. Then, as part of your process of becoming the expert, you want to send monthly newsletters either by regular mail or electronic. Actually, you would not be able to send electronic emails or newsletters if you don't know the people's email addresses. But as you meet them, one of the first things you want to know is what is a good email address. And you want to get authorization. Is it okay if I keep you informed of things that are happening in our neighborhood? As a matter of fact, it's a good idea to call your newsletter something that has to do with that particular neighborhood. For example, the Allwood News, or something that pertains to that particular neighborhood. Even if you end up having two newsletters, one for your particular neighborhood that you're farming and another one for a general area in the county or the towns or that you serve. Okay? You want to reach your farm at least 50 times per year. Now that sounds like a lot. That is almost like once a week. Okay? But you have to realize the events that have to happen. For you to meet the neighbors, you need to actually have face-to-face contact with them. That can be done by either inviting them to an event, and right there you have a communication, sending them something of an invitation. If you do have a cause that you are following up on, then there are the town meetings, the reminders, we're going to be discussing this issue, okay? And whenever you take a listing, of course in that neighborhood, you need to send a just listed postcard or some kind of communication informing the neighbors, I have a new listing. Please help me find a new neighbor for our community. Of course, if you have a sale, there's another communication. Okay? But there has to be contact, and it should always be something of interest to the community. That's why finding something that applies to the community that neighbors care about is so important. You also want to use your website to keep the residents up to date on real estate conditions. And you want to use that website, your website address, and all communications. You want to set up a space in your website for just that community and put the bulletin boards and the sports events and anything. And when they're having, if it's a lake community, when they're having any type of an activity at the lake, or if they're having sign-ups for sports for the children, that should be the place where people go to find out. Yes, they can go to the town website, but those town websites have just town website information. Okay? If your website becomes the place to go for everything about the community, then you are on your way of becoming the neighborhood expert. Okay? Now, along the lines of becoming the neighborhood expert, you also have to make yourself visible. If people don't see you, they will not do business with you. How would they? They don't even know you exist. So you must be in the front and center of your farm. You need to, when you go out and to walk the dog, to take a walk in the summer, to just enjoy the fresh air, okay, do that, but also with the intent of meeting and saying hi to people, letting them see you, letting them see that you are involved, that you are around. Wear your Realty Executives gear, your T-shirt. Always, always have your business cards with you. The worst thing that can happen is you meet somebody on the street and they say, "Oh yes, give me your business card," and you don't have one. Okay, you want to have materials that you can hand out. Everything that you hand out or that you send out in that neighborhood has to promote your business. So you need to brand all your marketing materials. Um, you want to regularly host open houses. Encourage the neighbors to come over and check out the property because neighbors may know somebody who wants to buy in that particular neighborhood. Let them help you. Let them be involved in the process of finding their new neighbor. You will get not only a double deal, but you will also get someone that you introduce to the property through the neighbor, and now you have a better relationship with that individual. You want to do things for the beauty or for the improvement of the community. How about sponsoring a monthly beautification uh, contest or award? I know that Lowe's, through the National Association of Realtors, has special programs where they will actually put up a contest and you can be the sponsor. You will be all over the place. That's Yes, you may have to be involved in, with time and maybe a little bit of money, but it will put you front and center in your community. About organizing um, area events or volunteer for something that is happening in your neighborhood, um, that you are one of the people organizing the event or helping with that. How about fixing a problem? If there's an area that has like a lot of high taxes, a lot of the homeowners are going to town hall to fight their taxes, why not find out who they are and maybe rally together so that you can force a reevaluation of the community for the taxes? Or maybe the street maintenance is not the way it should be. There are potholes because this winter was brutal. This is the great time to walk around or drive around your community and find if there are potholes in every other street, why not contact the town? Okay? But people need to know that you're doing this. You need to get others involved. You want to be the leader in that project and say, you know what, we need to get town hall to come and fix these potholes and make our town better or our area better, our neighborhood better. Okay. These are great ideas that can get you front and center of your community. Now, you need to take care of your farm. This is the day-to-day work when you are working, okay? First thing you want to remember that you want to have a person. You want to show who you are as a person. Yes, you are doing this for business. You can make an incredible amount of money in this business, but the personal touch will be better. That will be the best thing you can do for your business. So you want to do also some social events, fun things. How about organizing a block party, okay? Or sponsor the kids' sports. And not just give the money and give, advertising their bulletin board or, give the money for the play at the school, but how about you actually show up? What a concept. Okay? Show up to the event. Wear your T-shirt or your, Realty Executives uh, clothing. Show up. Go up to the kids and say, congratulations. How about, this wouldn't cost that much money, but how about in the summer after the event, yes, you sponsored the event or you did some advertising in their flyers or whatever. How about volunteering to have ice cream delivered or a pizza delivered after the game or something going on like that? Or providing coupons to a local ice cream place. You talk to the ice cream store, Carvel or Dairy Queen or whatever. You speak to the manager and you say, look, they're having a game this Saturday. I would like to give coupons to the kids to come over for a scoop of ice cream after the game, and I will pay for it. Okay? And you give these coupons out or with your business card or with a flyer. That is personal touch. Okay? I already spoke about the fix a problem or promote a cause in your neighborhood. It could be a charitable event, okay? But it's not just giving the money to sponsor it. Being there, letting them see you and letting them see that you care. That can build up your business in this way. Now, another thing that is very important to know about farming is that you have to give it time. The key to farming is tending to it, but also giving it the amount of time that it needs. Like the example I gave before with the corn, okay? You don't plant the seed today and go pick up the corn tomorrow. You have to commit to your target area and be consistent. That's why in the beginning it's extremely important before you make a commitment that you do your research and due diligence to find out the area that you are choosing is the area you are going to be committing for years. Okay? Because it's going to take, like I said before, time and energy. You don't want to be putting your seeds in the wrong place. You want to make sure you're going to be happy and excited to be serving that community. So you want to do your research first. Once you make a commitment, you need to do everything necessary to make it work. You also need to follow up with people. Even buyers you didn't represent that purchased properties in your neighborhood, in your farming area, you want to introduce yourself to them after they move in and say, look, I understand you're new to the neighborhood. I just wanted to let you know that I serve this neighborhood and I welcome to the neighborhood. Sending them maybe a little basket with cleaning supplies for their move, or sending them a newsletter or a card saying, welcome to the neighborhood. We're happy that you are now our neighbor. That will actually get you, a conversation. You want to become the go-to person in the community, but that doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of work involved in that. Most importantly, you don't want to quit early. Okay? Again, you're not going to be starting a farm, send out some newsletters or an introductory letter or send out some postcards, meet 3 or 4 neighbors, and expect that you're going to end up getting listings right away. Okay? You might, but don't expect it. So don't quit too early. You need to give it a few months of work, hard work, and dedication to that farm in order to be able to get the rewards and to start building your name recognition in that neighborhood. As you can see on the screen, these guys, it's October and he's trying to get his turkeys to be plump and juicy and big for November's Thanksgiving. It doesn't work that way, okay? You need to give your farm enough time to grow. Slow and steady is the best way to do this business, not just in farming, but in general. Okay. Now there are some tools that you are going to need, and there are some tools of yesterday that are not going to work for you. Okay. Some still might work. Okay. But for example, the old way of doing farming, and I did this for many, many years, and I had a farm that was very, very good for me. It was very productive for me after a lot of years of work. Okay, I made it a point to personally speak with every homeowner at least once per year. Okay, and how I did that is that I would actually have specific days of the week where I would actually go up and down the street, walking the street. Now, in that particular neighborhood, I did not live there. Some people thought that I lived there because they saw me all the time. I lived on the other side of town. I would take my dog Blackie, and he knew the time and the days that I was going to take him to for a nice long walk because I would actually go home from the office. So, okay, let's go, Blackie. Let's go for a walk. He would be so happy. I would walk with Blackie up and down the street in that neighborhood, and I got to meet a lot of the people. And I always had my business card with. And I saw a couple of years ago they have the little doggy coat that you can put on the doggy that has you can put the logo of your company in a little pocket for business cards. That is so cute. Of course, they didn't have that when I had my farm, but walking around the neighborhood was one good way of doing it. It's still good, but in the middle of winter, it may not be a good idea. Um, but how about in the middle of winter, you know that there may be some older individuals who are having difficulty with all the snow, and you either shovel the snow for them, pay someone to take care of at least the front yard or the driveway for them. That would be definitely a conversation starter. Another way that we used to farm in the olden days was by calling. Okay, it's not so easy anymore. Right now, the do not call list is something that we need to be aware of, but also a lot of phone numbers are not published, so it's not as easy as it used to be. So that would be one of the tools that is not as easy to use anymore. Another way we did farming in the past was through newsletters and postcards. Those are still good, but a lot of people are signing themselves out of, junk mail. You don't always want to be sending junk mail to them. So that's why I said before, it's very important to make sure that you have things that are of value to them and the community, something that is important to them. Okay? So what are some of the tools of today? Obviously, person to person, that relationship, that reason for meeting is very important. But we also have Facebook. There might be neighbors you know that you can get introduced through Facebook, okay, by email. But you would only be able to get their email if you have met them or if you know someone who knows them. By phone, obviously, by Skype, by LinkedIn, driving around the area and getting to meet people. There's another thing that I use when I take listings, which is the Every Door direct mailing campaigns through the post office, which is a great way to get beautiful, large postcards into that community. Now, it only works through the carrier route, and in our office, have to create your own account. And then you speak to the office for the marketing and the creation of the postcards. You can buy them through the post office, but they come out more expensive. We can do it through our company. Just speak to Jackie about that, and she'll create the postcards for you. And she already has a template. that is a great way to get in front of every homeowner. They actually will deliver to every uh, property in that neighborhood, and you do not need any stamps and you do not need any labels because it goes through the carrier route to every homeowner. So those are, good tools of today that we can find. But like I said before, the community involvement, the going to the meetings. If you're in a condominium complex and that becomes your farm, you need to show up to every meeting on a monthly basis because in those community events, everybody is aware of them, but most people don't show up. But if there's something that is coming up that you don't agree with or that you agree with and it needs support, you can be the person who goes knocking on doors and saying, are you aware that this is happening in our community? What do you think about it? Start that conversation. Now, in this picture here, we have the primary economic activities of farming. And I found this is actually from a real farming uh, representation. Okay, so you have your farm inputs. These are the things that the farmer needs in order to produce the food on the farm. For our purposes, we're going to need time, we're going to need the effort, we're going to need business cards, and maybe some giveaways. Okay, some little things that you can give away that people will keep in their homes to think about you or remember you. Okay, so as you can see, there's not that much cost associated. It's going to be more the time and the effort you're going to put in on the research of your farm, on the actual creation, and having a plan. You want to plan out the whole year or a 5-year plan for your business, specifically of the activities you are going to be involved in your farm so that you know exactly what to expect. Okay, once you do that, then the processes. These are the activities that happen on the farm in order to produce the food or the results you need. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is meet as many homeowners in that area, in that neighborhood as possible. You want to promote your service and you want to obtain their information. Well, you can. It's very easy to get their name and their address. But what about their phone number, their email address, permission to contact them? Find out what is important to them. Is there anything in the community that they're interested in that you can keep them informed about? You want to, in order to do that, organize events or participate in the events that are going on. Be a part of the community in a way that makes a difference to everyone. And once you do that, then the output. These are the things that the farmer produces. When you meet the neighbors and are out there visible, you're going to produce listings. Those listings are going to produce opportunities to do open houses and meet more neighbors, meet buyers, sell the property. Okay, it's going also to produce trust in the community. It's going to create good name recognition and goodwill when you're involved in the community, not just in selling real estate, but also caring and being involved in the politics and the activities and everything that happens in that community. Now, some outputs also create inputs. What this means is that a listing, for example, is going to create referrals. Maybe the person who buys the listing that you have in that community has a property to sell in another town. That may produce either listings in another area or referral opportunities. And then they go back and around until you get to a point where your farm is like a well-wheeled machine that continues to produce. Every listing produces other listings and sales. And those sales and listings produce other buyers and other listings and other referrals and opportunities that go around and round in a circle and continue to give you more and more every day and every month and every year that you're in the business. Okay. Now, people farming, what we've been talking about is a geographic area. But people farming is very similar. It's pretty much networking. And I'm not going to go into that right now because we have already discussed that in a previous seminar or webinar that we had. So if you're interested in people farming, this is where you are actually networking. It's a group of people that you meet with on a regular basis, that you obtain their information, and you want to make that your farm. You need to refer to the prior seminar or webinar that we had on that. Okay. This webinar was produced for you in order to help you find a way to have a dependable amount of business that you can use year after year. Again, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some energy. But everyone that I know who has ever done any farming and was serious about their activities in their farm have been very productive and very well off. So on the screen you see, don't be a parrot in life, be an eagle. Parrot talks way too much but can't fly high enough. And an eagle is silent and has the will and power to touch the sky. I wish you lots of luck if you decide to do farming. Here's just a little thing to end the webinar in a happy note. And as you are farming, you may find things that are not what you expected, but you need to just know that it's happening and be able to resolve the issue. I thank you a lot for coming over to the webinar today, and I wish you the best. If you have any questions at all, I know that your managers would be delighted to help you, or you can always contact me at the office. Have a wonderful day, and happy farming. Great day.